We've done it! It is December the 31st. We have used 13 vacuum cleaners throughout the year of 2018. How did it go? Well, you know, because you've seen every one of them. But in this video, we'll just do a quick rundown of how things went. Yes, hello my vacuum cleaner chums, how are you today? I have my spreadsheet with the list of all the machines we have used ready to go. Let's see what there was in January. We had the Miele S7, which is a fantastic cleaner in pretty much every way, unless you're looking for something lightweight, because it's nimble. It is quite nimble, but it's very heavy. If you watch Ibasiak's, he used his U7, which is the next model along from the S7, the EU type, and he said the same thing. It is a beautiful machine, but it is very big and heavy. You don't just put it out for a quick whip around, you put it out for a full cleaning session. But it did it very well, really, and I've still got it now because I'm waiting to give it to another collector, so that's up in my mum's loft. So yeah, not really much that was ever wrong with that, because it flipping well should be a good cleaner. It was very expensive when it was new, but the tools are very nice to use. It has one of the best hoses on an upright cleaner that I think I've ever had, because the machine itself doesn't pull around very much and the hose is very stretchy. So that was very good. In February, oh yes, we had the Dyson DC24, a machine that I've never really liked. I see so many of them in for repair, all for the same things as well. I don't have a very good relationship with them, but I got on okay with this one. Came from the bins, and we fixed it up, gave it a full refurb, and it was actually pretty well suited for our 2-bedroom house, because it was just about the right size for what we use it for. They're only meant for small little buildings, flats and whatnot, and I think our little 2-bed terrace was about its limit. But it's very nice to use. It did pick up a heck of a lot, actually. I was quite surprised. It didn't break. I was amazed with that. That went to Stuart at Manchester Vax. He sold it as part of his stock and paid me a bit of money for it, which was excellent. So glad I've used one. I can't think I'd ever use one again. I'd happily pick one up for somebody else if they needed it, but it'd always be in the back of my mind that it's gonna break and I'm gonna have it back and fix it. So box ticked. That was February. Oh, in March we had the Vorwerk VK120 with 2 heads. The first head, which was, if I read my notes, the ET31, the older of the 2 heads that I've got. And that was very good, actually. I can see why Vorwerk, especially nowadays, are so popular. It did work very well indeed. As an upright cleaner, it's pretty nice. It's very lightweight, picks up very well. It's lovely to use. The weight's in just the right place. Shame it doesn't stand up at all. And the tools, well, they work, but it's a bit of a chore to fit them. I used to have the tools on first and go around with the tools, then switch back to the floor and go around all of the floor. So it was good. I could see myself using one daily, but the second head, the ET340, the newer style with the new brush strips, was amazing. That really is quite surprisingly good. It groomed really deeply. I think mine's a little bit baggy, so it's probably a bit noisier than they probably should be, but it was very good as well, really. I've kept that. That is up in the box in the old collection, because they go for a fair bit of money nowadays. So it's either an investment to sell, I'll probably just get bored and sell it, or I'll keep it because I'll never be able to afford another one. That was 2 streets away by my house. I was the only bidder. It was 15 quid. I don't think I'll get one that cheap if it had postage on it. So that was very good. We also did, I think it was on that month, the dry cleaning. We used the Cobra Sand Snow with the whatever the ET number of the dry cleaning head was, and that was very good actually. That worked better than the Dyson method. It's probably the Dyson method with the DC04 Zorbster, if you remember that video, is that the brush roll, as soon as it gets damp, goes all soft. And it doesn't really do anything because it's just like flopping a bit of wet string around. The Formwork with its sponge brushes, they're much different nowadays. I can't comment on how it works nowadays, but my one with the sponge rollers did work very well. Again, didn't really clean the carpet, although it did do something because all of the powder went all brown and grey, unlike the Dyson stuff. So it must have done something, and it certainly freshened up the carpet. So that was certainly something. But yeah, that was the Formwork. Ooh, April, we went a bit silly, didn't we? And used the Dirt Devil DD6110, the Electrolux Contour clone. And it wasn't bad. It did an okay job. You know, picked up the bits, did a bit of grooming. Tools weren't great because it's a really top heavy machine and the hose wasn't very stretchy, so it kept pulling itself around, and I didn't clean the sofas much that month or the stairs. We just kept it on the floor, and the handle was really flexy. Whole thing was terribly built, which obviously it would be because it is a clone of the Electrolux Contour, heavily cheapened, but it was alright, bit of fun. Can't say I'd ever get one again. There's just not that great. The whole of that Contour shape was it JMB. I've seen it at the Goodmans, Morphy Richards, Dirt Devil. It's just, they're just all pretty rubbish, I'll be honest. Get a Contour. They're cheap enough and they're much better built. Don't get a clone. That is now actually with Mr. Hooverlux. He has a brush roll for it now, which you shall see on his channel coming up in 2019. May, we had the Turbo Power 3. That was actually quite nice because we used the Turbo Power 2 back in 2017, and that wasn't bad either. Okay, the Perma bag was terrible, but again, that was just, I used that to see what that was really like. But with a bag, it was lovely, actually. Really, really good. It cleaned the carpet really well. It was nice and sturdy. It had good suction, but the big thing, the big plus points about the Turbo Power 3, which is the only difference with the Turbo Power 3, was the hose. The hose was amazing, right up to the top of the stairs. I could hook it underneath at the bottom where the hook was, and it would follow me around the front room where I was doing all the sofas, doing all the edges. The hose makes all of the difference. Turbo Power 2 is not a bad cleaner. I quite like them. They're not lovely. They're not my favourite, I must admit that, but they are good. And the Turbo Power 3 is even better, purely because of the hose. That's a Mr. Hooverlux now as well, actually. Right, June. Ooh, yes, we used the Kirby Heritage 2. And I'm going to say this now, I prefer them with the tech drive, I'll be honest. I used G5 for many years as a daily. And the tech drive makes all the difference. This was awful to push. Charlie tried, he couldn't use it. Amy refused to touch it, so I used it. And although it did a very, very good job, apart from the hallway carpet, which was so deep that if I had the head adjusted just so, it wouldn't move. I had to then go and notch up, which then skimmed the carpet completely. And it was a little bit iffy. I basically ended up putting it at the front, dropping it right down and dragging it back. Just did backward strokes, just so I could clean the carpet. But it was alright. Again, it was an occasion. It was like the Miele. You had to use it. You couldn't just put it out for a quick whip around. You had to use it and use it well. So that was good. But then we got rid of the carpet, which suddenly turned it into the worst machine at all for what my use for it was. So it spent the rest of the month in tool mode as basically a cylinder with a bag on the end of it, and that worked quite well because they have very good tool suction, do Kirby's, phenomenally good. So with the hose permanently fitted and the extension wands and a floor brush, which I had ordered that from it, it was really quite good actually. That obviously you wouldn't, I did it because I had it. You wouldn't actually go out and buy a Kirby just to use as a cylinder. That would be quite silly. But it did an alright job. I put the head back on to do the carpets upstairs. Yeah, it was alright. I've still got that as well, waiting for a refurb one day. July, and this is where the whole thing shifts, because 2017 and thus far in 2018 we've had uprights, haven't we, because we had the carpet. Now it's all changed, hence why in July we used the Hoover Ariane Lifetime, which was incredibly good. Actually, it had phenomenal suction. It was beautiful to pull around. It followed you like a little puppy dog. The metal wands helped. The bags were very cheap, even genuine better bags. But the noise, oh my god, the noise, oh, it was horrible. Utterly horrible. Put me off it forever. In fact, I sold it now. That got sold on Facebook for, I got 40 quid for it in the end. But amazing vacuum cleaner, stupid small tools, the little round dusting brush, as soon as you turn the machine on, sucks all the brushes back into it and was useless as a dusting brush. But that era of Hoover was maniared with cheap tools, ruined them with the cheap tools they put on them. So yeah, very good vacuum cleaner, poorly executed. I have to say, get an older Telios. If you want one of those, get an old, low wattage Telios. And it even broke its cord rewind. If you remember from the after video, we had to put the spare cord rewind I had in it. In fact, I've still got the other one over there, just for the cable, because it broke its cord rewind. And as you know, when we took it apart, obviously they were graded returns from the pallet. This is one of the pallet gate vacuum cleaners from Mr. Ibasiak's. It had seen use. Don't know if its lifetime bag was rubbish, it was used without a bag, or just with cheap paper bags, but somebody gone to a lot of effort to clean up the outside, but the inside was filthy. But I didn't fancy refurbishing it. There was no point at all. I'd rather get an older Telios and redo that, because it'd be much more fun. August, another machine. This is like DC24, because in August we had the DC11, which again is a machine that I have seen lots into repair or refurbish and sell, but never actually used one. And I still didn't like it afterwards, because the hose is too short, the wands are far too massive, the whole thing's just a lumbering great lump of idiot. You pulled it around and half of the cyclone would get caught behind something, and it would then spin around and fall over when you yanked on the hose. Turbo brush was a bit meh, as that series always is when they get a bit worn. The early turbo brushes aren't that good. But I was quite surprised that it didn't clog up, because as I said to you at the time, the suction goes in and then spits off and goes into each of the cyclones, and it's at the point it splits off that it blocks. And mine didn't block, which was okay. I was quite surprised at that. It did the job. I found myself not wrapping the hose around and clipping it down and storing it like that. I couldn't quite bother with that. I just chucked it all on the porch and left it at that. And the dusting brush kept falling off as well. But that was okay. Again, I wouldn't rush to do it again, but I can say I have. Now that got sold on Facebook to a very nice lady who has a cattery. So I'm not quite sure how that's getting on. I've not had it back. It's either soldering on, bless it, or it's died and she's not come back to me. Who knows? But August, of course, was a double fun month, because we had the Amazon Basics as well, because it was in August that I refurbished Mum's S5, Mina S5. So I gave her the Amazon Basics, just so it could get a use, because I wasn't really that keen on it. And I was actually very surprised. At the end of a month, we didn't check it once, we didn't open the filters, we didn't empty it until that after video, and it coped very, very well actually. It's certainly a machine that I would recommend. It was, I paid 25, but I had a voucher. I think it was only $39.99. anyway, without any discounts. But I got 10% off for signing up to Amazon Prime for that week. And I had something else which brought the price down. And yeah, I paid £25, and it was 100% worth that. Don't pay more than 50 for them. Not worth it. But for £25, the tools are a bit meh. To do with a better wand, it was much better with an older Miele floor tool, because it's 35mm, than the horrible EU stupid head that it had on it. But I was impressed that the filter was only as dirty as it was. It didn't overheat, it didn't die. It was very, very good. I sold that for 50 quid on Facebook, and I was very happy to get that for it. September, we went back to basics and had a lovely Electrolux Dolphin, and it was lovely. I would happily get rid of all my, well, no, where am I that way inclined? I would happily get rid of all of my other machines and just use the Dolphin. It was fantastic. It glided around really, really easily. It was fantastic. The suction was superb with the HEPA flow. It had proper sized tools. It was just lovely. Plastic ones, maybe not if you had carpet, but it did alright on the bit of carpet that I used it on. Having the blower function was handier than I thought. I used to blow out the bathroom fan every couple of days, blow the rubbish out from under the furniture. That was surprisingly good. I use it when I have vaccine to do. I'll just blow the motor out and do all that. So yeah, the Electrolux Dolphin, big tick for me. I've got some more Dolphins still to do. We probably won't 12 vacuum 12 months in though, because they are all the same. Again, the problem with the Dolphins, now I've used that one, I've done it now. Don't need to do it. Well, that's sold. That is now with a member of the Auto Shite forum as his vacuum cleaner. A man with good taste, I would say. October, the Hoover Freedom. Again, a machine I've never had before, never used before, so took the opportunity. And again, it was very, very good. Had okay suction. Bit of a pain to drag around, I'll be honest, because it's so long and unwieldy. And I rolled it once and then proved myself I scratched it because it was hard to refurbished it. And as we saw, HEPA flowing it didn't work that well either, and probably made it a bit iffy dust wise. Hopefully, I know who it's gone to. It's sold now. I know who it's gone to, and well, we shall see it at some point. I'm hoping that he/she gets a vacuum with the blower and blows all the dust out of it, because I didn't get a chance to do that. I had to post it up. But again, it was a machine that, although it was lovely, and I'm very glad I've had one. This, didn't pay a fortune to try it. That was only like £15 plus a 2-hour drive, so call it £25 including the diesel. And yeah, it was very, very good, but it just wasn't fantastic. You could happily use it daily, perhaps get one with the cord read one, but then you would pay a fortune for that. So happy I tried that. A bit of retro hoovering. It was very good. November, we had the Galaxy. Big plus point with the Galaxy. I loved using that. I really do like it. That's staying possibly forever unless something catastrophically goes wrong in my life, because I'll never get another one. Always liked them since I was a child, because I see them all around the place. Really, really good. It worked better on the hard floors than carpet, and it was the floor tool. The floor tool on it doesn't really stick to the carpet. It's what I think it's probably the latest iteration of the contour head that they did before they switched to the flat style that you used to get on the boxy Centronics. I think I'm right in saying that. And yeah, it was fine on the hard floor. Obviously I had to use the metal wand with it, because the plastic ones that it came with were really, really bendy and horrible. But apart from that, it was lovely. The small tools, beautiful. I love that upholstery tool that they do with Hoovers. It's my favouriteest tool in the world, if that doesn't sound too sad. And yeah, it was very good, really, apart from I broke one of the wheels. Had to have the top sellotaped on because it's missing a clip. Yeah, but no, it's a good little thing. really. Nice to have, so you could happily use that if you had hard floors and whatnot. So we will see it again, probably. Not for a while though, it's had its time now. It can go back into the collection. And finally, we had Henry. Henry. What can I say about Henry? You don't already know, because this is a Henry. And they do Henry things and work as a Henry should. It's fine. It's perhaps too large for our small house, even with its short hose. I don't have to drag him around much, but he's phenomenally powerful. I can't imagine the bag's that full. And we use him quite a lot because Charlie makes Amy use him, because Charlie really likes Henry as well. So that's a good excuse, really. But yeah, it glides around. The floor tool, again, is also the first time I've ever used a single pedal pneumatic floor tool. And it's quite nice, apart from when it isn't. I think there's a massive air leak on it somewhere, and it's quite hard to push on a deeper pile carpet. You've got to really get your grunt behind it. But it gets all the bits up. It's not bad. If you use it on the car, on the stairs you can hold it. It follows you around. It falls over a bit, as I've had Henrys do. But it's just been Henry. It's been nice to use one. I have to say I'm toying with the idea of selling it. I thought I wanted one, hence why I've got Henry. But the more I think about it, the less I'm sure. But we'll worry about that another time, because you hadn't even seen the after video to that. It's still technically December. I'm filming this a week before because we're away Christmas week, so I wouldn't have time. But it's still December. And that brings us on to what are we going to do with Vacuum of the Month. And after I asked a question on November's Vacuum of the Month, you well, 10 of you overwhelmingly said you would like it to continue. And I thought not very long and not very hard about it, and thought that I would like to continue it too. Because A, you all seem to enjoy it, and that's all I really ever care about. B, I was having a look at what I could use. I only really started stopping because I've run out of machines. Can't really do Vacuum in a month when you haven't got carpet with anything other than a cylinder. But I won't show you it too much because it will ruin the surprise. But I've got a full 12 months worth. It's subject to change because things might come in and knock stuff off. But so I can't tell you what it will be because it will ruin the surprise. But it is pretty much scheduled up. There's a few machines I've got to get done before. There's also a couple of machines that I'm not going to get done before either. So put a little alternate slant on it. There is one machine which I have had for ages. Don't think I've done a before video of it, so we need to do all that. But I'm going to use it as is because it's quite a vintage machine. And obviously it's all well and good, me knowing how to spend a week stripping it all apart, making it brand new again and doing rebuild threads so you can learn how to do it again. But what if you just bought it? What if you pulled it out of your nan's loft and want to use it? These are the questions that I think we should answer. The question that nobody asks is, how does some of these machines work as you would find them in 2019, not how they work when they work as well as they can. So we shall be continuing. It shall be mixed up a little bit. And I have cheated with January's because I've got nothing ready. So, without further ado, let us introduce the Vacuum of the Month for January 2019. Tomorrow, on the 1st, to be continued.